ranges to it. I think both teams will be comfortable. Now we'll see if Ents can continue to impress. They'll start on the T side. They'll have to bring the noise to Ninjas in Pyjamas. And it seems that noise will start on the ramp position where the entire team is going. So far, so good for the Ninjas, though. Lekro and Dennis with some headshots, holding position for now. Now, what do you do 3 versus 5? There's a smoke on Aerial, which may help them plant the bomb, but there's so much personnel for Ninjas in Pyjamas that it might be hard for Ents to find a plant.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for them to find that plant indeed. I completely agree. But they will try nonetheless. Lekro could be quite annoying, able to dance around the crate. And there's Superez. Nice headshot coming in from him, taking down Aerial. And he will try to escape, just barely gets around the corner in time for another go of things. And it gets better and better for Rez. Great trio of kills from him. And that was a very simple and easy hold for the likes of NIP.
I was in the crowd towards the end of that Cloud9 game. Those commentators are going absolutely bananas out there. It was a really awesome atmosphere. The Portuguese fans have been fantastic. But of course, we will focus on a match ahead of us, then NIP and Ents. I think a number of players got a cheap helmet there for Ninjas in Pyjamas. I didn't see exactly how many were untouched, but I'm pretty sure 4 survived with Kevlar, 3 or 4 with it untouched. That's a great start for Forest. The MP7, that SMG bonus kill money. Obviously, P90 aside, that one's been nerfed. So it hits the floor pretty hard, and that leaves only one man to drop. That is Alu. I remember playing pool with Alu at a DreamHack many moons ago. It's a fun guy to hang out with, if he likes you, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose that's a prerequisite. But yeah, great start for NIP. Always feels good when you buy an SMG, like in Forest position, and you're the guy that gets all the kills. You can see he's sitting on a tidy $6,400. And NIP, a team which I think, you know, if you start them off on the CT side of a nuke and they get off to a good start, they become really powerful because they generate some significant momentum. And NIP for me are always going to be a team with a lot of players that they get strong. Like if they're starting off well, they just get stronger and stronger. You know, some emotional players there from that sense. And Ents, though, a team which has proven to, since their major run, of course, be very resilient. So even if they do get a bad start, they're able to grind things out. And I did sort of, before the match started, highlight Ence's ability to play fantastic T-side Counter-Strike. So looking forward to seeing that here is they will go with a simple approach, taking map control towards the outside positions. Smoke's now down across the outside to try to present some threat towards Secret. Dennis got to be careful. The timing's not worked out for him. Big kill for Ents.
Interestingly, maybe not have to talk about it just yet because Lekro gets taken down towards the ramp position and Aerial's moving around, goes past Forest. Forest spots him, but what can he really do about it? Reza gets traded in the meantime, and all of a sudden there are 2 Ninjas in Pyjamas players remaining. Now 1. Get right, last man standing versus 4. I was going to say, interestingly, you saw the Molotov from the CTs thrown towards the smoke, but it seemed to deliberately go beyond the smoke to stop the people crossing rather than hit the smoke, so you could see them crossing and spray them down, which is not what you'd normally see. So I don't know if it was accidentally overshot or if that was on purpose, but we'll have to keep an eye on that on the rounds to come. So far, so good for Ents. They've got the AKs out, and they're in a 4 versus 1, and it seems all 4 will survive. So their T side looks good in the buy round.
Yeah, really does. Holding this round position indeed, and don't want to lose anything extra. Love the discipline. NIP, I wonder if they'll be thinking about taking some aggressive plays to that outside position. Sometimes you'll see teams create setups which allows them aggressive potential, where you play a CT towards the red container outside, and perhaps you have somebody either in garage or around main that can kind of support them with grenades. And if the Ts try to rush that position, or if they play it slow, maybe you have like 1 or 2 players around that position, it's actually a pretty solid CT setup. Allows you to get aggressive and create some opportunities early in the round, as opposed to allowing the T side to develop their map control unhindered. Alternatively, you can play really passively, run the secret position, and more or less give up outside or take very far back positions towards CT spawn even. So lots of options, I think, for NIP to explore. And, you know, one would imagine, James, that NIP given the fact that they knew this map was coming up, against Ents, weeks in advance, that they should have a good option already in their brains.
Yeah, they've got Peter in the back to study. I don't think the bomb was just planted there. So ignore that. We've got NIP. We'll continue with Get Right and a bunch of pistols. So do you play for the deagle shots here? Or do you play for Get Right to try and be the can opener in an aggressive position? I think because of the nature of the map, maybe there's more chance for the deagles. There is Get Right showing some presence of the M4A4. Nothing doing though. No way to stop those smokes from going down really. Alu making sure there's no flank, creeping next to main. Rez has the off angle in case they make an A play and try to hop into main. So we'll see how that works out. Starting to creep around now. Okay, so I think the local sound is the Portuguese game. NIP and Ents. Oh, ding dong from Dennis. I think he got 3 rings of the bell there. But I don't think that weapon will be collected anytime soon. Alu's still above main for the time being. So the options are open for Ents. They've got players high and they've got, well, they had players low. I think there is somebody creeping downstairs. So we'll see where they choose to end up. But there are 40 seconds remaining now, so they need to make a decision and move together to achieve that goal.
Yeah, oh no! Oh no, jumping in the middle of the spray there. Perhaps the mouse bug getting stuck on the mouse wheel. Oh, that really sucks, and they have no time. They've got to start rushing things. Desperation starts to kick in now as Ariel will take over control room. But Lecro here, he's got to be good for one. That's no smoke. Oh, he misses the first shot. That would have been huge because that's the bomb as well. That would have wasted so much time. Someone else would have had to run across to go and collect that. But still, a chance here between Rez and Forest. No Kevlar on them, but not much in the way of counter utility. Forest picks off one, down to 15 HP. Rez, can he chime in? No. It will be shut down, but that was very precarious. That could have gone so desperately wrong for Ents.
Absolutely. That was an early shock. I think you can often find a positive in a terrible situation from, like, let's say, a coaching position. The bomb's not being planted, guys. Don't believe him. Don't believe him. I think, like, if you're a coach or the guy who has to keep the morale up, you can be like, okay, better it happens in round 4 than it happens in round 24, for example. It's less critical now to have a mistake like that. And they did survive it. It was more expensive than it should have been, but here we are. Both teams on the buy once again, but similar situation to Dust 2. Ninjas in Pyjamas are quite short on utility. They do have a number of smokes, however. And you could argue they've got better position, or they did have until Rez got taken out. And now the position gets deleted. Get Right to the point of no return. Area looking the wrong way. Can't find a signal. Get Right taking him out. 3 players around Get Right, though. He's still alive. He's still holding down his bomb site. 1v1 after 1v1. Then it's on a 1 versus 3. I don't think he'll be going for it. I'm sure he would if it was 1 versus 2. And this was a swift round, I feel.
Yeah, and that's something that's very dangerous when you're playing against Ents. They move together very well on this T side, as mentioned before. Great spacing, very explosive players when it comes to rifling and entry kills. We saw great work there from Ariel initially, and that's another thing about Nuke, is that Nuke you can be really explosive in towards the upper bomb side if you'd like to be. Lots of options for that, and lots of options to threaten it each and every round. And we've seen lots of teams find new and creative ways to do stuff like that. Really like watching Furia, for example. They've got some great tactics, innovating a lot on this map on the upper bomb side. But and that pace, that switch up of pace, it's going to be a danger for the rounds to come for NIP to consider. And it felt like everything was going right at the beginning of this match, James, but Ents really bounced back immediately. They look pretty damn decisive in their play, which is great to watch.
Yeah, they got kicking immediately on the buy round and pretty violently to boot. Now we've got another hero rifle situation. This time it's a sniper rifle on Dennis, but we might have a hail of grenades going outside. Alexi B could get absolutely... Oh, it could even be worse than that. Will it hit anyone? No! Yes! Alexi B, 20 HP. Finish off the body on his P250. So many targets for Get Right. He gets taken out. So does Rez. But this action may slow things down immensely, which could prove to be in the favor of Dennis. You can see him creeping outside. He's the man now. He has to get things happening here for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Get Right saw a player on the silo. There's no one there for now. But he may have to rotate his position now. Does he read with that action outside that they move inside? he has not revealed a position of his AWP just yet. There's no one inside for Ents. They don't know if this area is being compromised. Normally in, say, an anti-eco, where X7 is now, you'd have someone standing here, so if there's like a ramp rush, a hut push, then you can safely fall back away from it. They didn't have anybody there, which still makes them creep. Now, Dennis does need to be active, and he has been. He's gone from the outside towards the ramp position, so he's trying to catch them off guard, and he just might do that.
The creep. Nicely done. The reposition pays off for Dennis as he picks up the first kill, and Ents have to speed things up. A little bit more time to work with than when they were previously in a desperate spot like this. But Dennis back to the well, perhaps. But there it is. Finds the bomb as well. That will slow things down an extra few seconds. But precious seconds here for Ents. Only 25 left to plant this bomb, in which they'll be able to now accomplish behind the cover of smoke, perhaps. Well, the smoke's on the door. Lecro offering up pressure, and more time is being burned. All these seconds are so vitally important, and Dennis picks up another one. Dennis with a quad kill on the AWP. That is phenomenal for NIP. That's exactly what they needed.
That's beautiful, but you can't just give all the credit to Dennis. You see, I think it was Lecro in decontamination there. His job is to stay alive. If he's alive, they can't plant the bomb. If he fights and he dies, they maybe can plant the bomb. They have position, they can go behind the silo, which is why he's not engaging. He's just trying to stay alive for as much as possible. Hops past, sees them chasing. They know they need to take him out. So he runs away, able to get around the corner. And in the meantime, they're chasing Lecro, and they're just running into Dennis's crosshairs. Absolutely beautiful stuff by Ninjas in Pyjamas.
It's great to see as well, James, because we know Dennis has had many individual struggles ever since he joined NIP initially. He seemingly became a worse player. Rating-wise, he had his worst performances. He had this huge slump, and then he had to take a break. But now he's back, and he's back. He feels re-energized. You talked about the Lazarus Pit before. Perhaps we'll see if that's the case for Dennis.
I bumped into him in the corridor in the halls after the first game. He was in good spirits. He was pretty happy, which is great to see. Rez has got some sound cues. I don't think you'll see Alu boosted over the smoke, but once this smoke goes, well, Alu's looking for it. The scope has been heard, and Rez, it could be his birthday. Maybe he gets more cake than birthdays. There's one, there's two, and it does seem like he does so. Lots of sugar for him. Looks for a player on the silo. Can he get another out of this? He can't, but is that enough damage for Ninjas in Pyjamas?
Yeah, I think it has to be, surely. There's only one smoke left. Now Dennis is going to take X7's head off, and he's looking for more outside as well. The bomb is down on the ground, and someone's going to have to go back to collect that, but Lecro is not going to be that, or rather, I should say, Era's not going to be that guy, as he pushes Secret to take control, leaving everything to Sergey. But Sergey is in quite a spot of bother here. I mean, it's a 1 versus 3. Got to go back for the bomb. It's a CT push past the angle. Forrest eliminates Sergey. Very nice round from NIP. Rez's forward aggressive play, we talked about it earlier, pays off enormously.
Beautiful stuff. What's crazy is that Ents, Ali was looking for that. I mean, the smoke was up at the time, but he was aware that somebody could be there. But just when it came time to check when the smoke dissipated, when everything settled, it was Rez with the advantage, and it was an advantage enough to help his team get a W. Now 3 orgs are out for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The AK-47 on Forest. That's a dangerous setup. But Ents are on the pistols for this round. You see the early Molotov from Ninjas in Pyjamas to try and ruin the smokes. There is a gap. Rez will spot these players moving down into that secret position. Now we've got Lecro in the B bomb site already. He needs help though, because there are so many players alive. He needs support on the site, trying to elevate his position, but I don't think he's done it fast enough. They've seen him, and he's going to get taken out. That's a problem. That's a rifle that can be collected. Dennis misses his shot. He's close against these T players, so he's got to be really, really careful, because if Ents push him, that could be curtains.
He does fall back though, and he has the cover of his teammates to try to do this. Oh, nice from Rez. Around the corner, very fast reactions. Now down to LXCB and Sergey. They don't have much health to really do this with, but Rez and GetRight, very weak. GetRight, only 8 points of health. Maybe Alexi can find some damage. Almost finds the balloon to GetRight, but the defuse will come in. Dennis picking that one up, and NIP will secure the rounds. Ents, though, made that look very competitive, despite just having really a bunch of P250s and a CZ or two. And it will be 5-3 for NIP, as I got to say, they struggled a lot at the beginning, James, and I felt like Ents were going to run away with it, but now it's just so back and forth. This has got the makings for a really great game of Nuke.
Yeah, it seems they're finding their feet now, Ninjas in Pyjamas, and as Ents found it pretty quickly in that buy round. Both teams on the buy now. So let's see how things proceed. Ninjas in Pyjamas, 2 rounds up. This is a key round for both sides. Grenades going out once again. Rez ahead of the smokes in a different position. Now, I think Aerial's heard his scope. He's heard the scope. He's got a flashbang from a teammate, and Rez will get absolutely taken out. You can't scope for free with an AUG. It makes a noise, and he will die because of that. But Lecro will hold down the ramp position for now. Such an important area. You've got to know when to give it up, when to reset a position, when to bait for your teammates. And Lecro is doing fantastic work, leaving X7 in a 1 versus 3. He's got more damage to do. Then it's just about surviving. The cavalry's on the way, though, from that radio room. And there's Get Right. Oh my god, how on earth did he win that duel? Get Right standing in a place you can't really pre-fire, but X7 will still snap his face off. He's got 20 HP, but he has a minute to find 2 players.
The fact that he has time, as you say, really does make this doable as he looks to go for a plant. He doesn't have much of a way to cover himself here. He's got to take some risks, no smoke to plant inside of. But the Molotov will at least keep his opponents at bay and allow him to find a plant. And so now things are really on, but 22 HP. He's got to get an instant kill into Forest. Behind the door, will X7 react quickly enough here as he puts his back to that door? This is going to be very scary, but around the corner! And that is a great amount of damage down to Forest, but it's not going to count because Forest will stay alive, get the kill, pick up the defuse, and the round for NIP.
X7's got the tick. After planting the bomb, he pressed QQ 3 times. Which is like, I feel like it's a tick a lot of players have where it almost feels like everything's fresher and you're more alert if you kind of redraw the weapon out. But if somebody peeks at the wrong time when you've pressed Q, you can't fire your gun, you're going to die. So it can be pretty scary. But it's old habits die hard, as they say. 6-3 in favor of Ninjas in Pyjamas. And there's a timeout from Ents, which is about to end. A quick nerd note as well. An earlier round where you saw Alu accidentally jump outside when he was trying to shoot. Sometimes people's mouse wheel can get stuck between 2 different places. And sometimes when you press mouse 1, it also registers a command from the mouse wheel at the same time, which is really weird. Happens with some mice, not all mice. I have a habit with my mouse of pressing mouse 3 to try and kind of cancel it out if it is a thing.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, because mouse 3 for me is just clear decals or a buys a diffuse kit if I'm in CT spawn. So every now and then I'll just press it.
So for me, it's a Molotov on mouse 3. But anyway, back to the AK-47s here for Ents. Back into another round. Starting afresh. They don't have an AWP to work off of, though, but that's okay. It's not a map in which you need it on the T side, especially if you want things to be faster moving, and especially if you're going to attack the upper bomb side. See the smokes going outside here. We haven't seen any main splits, but bring that point back another time here, so we'll get well-placed nade in behind the smokes outside from Dennis. Tries to rattle off some shots. It's very scary, and they have to move through at some point whilst the smokes are still up, and Dennis will whiff everything else. But they'll be pretty aware, I would say, that Ents have moved down through the secret. And there's no one here for the CTs to stop them just as of yet. But of course, they have to smoke to delay things, and Rez has taken them far back position by the stairs. How many can he get, though?
Beautiful decision-making from Rez. That is not to his advantage, facing 2-3 players. That's a lot of information as well, and he could hold his position for the retake. It makes it harder for them to plant the bomb, and Dennis is taking liberties with the way he's holding his angles. 2-man spray down for Rez, and he creeps around the back of the bomb site. And now the T's are in a crossfire situation, but Dennis will be taken out by Aerial, which solves that, but Rez is still alive. They didn't deal with him earlier, and it's cost them 3 of their people. And now Sergey's alone, 1 versus 3. They don't know where he is, but there are 10 seconds, so it doesn't matter that much.
And that's actually really interesting because, as you say, great decision-making from Rez. He decides to fall back. And Ents, they can make 2 decisions there, which we saw one of, which is where they just go and run down towards control room. They don't try to force the issue. But then there's that glaring problem. You got Rez alive. You can peek out at any moment. And the other option is to just go and chase him down. Now, maybe you'll lose 1 or 2 players, but it's like a really hard call to make in a sense. Because if you don't have any utility to deal with Rez, then he's going to always be a problem there. So that really backfired for Ents, not dealing with Rez. And now NIP look like they're in a commanding position.
There are some teams, when they do the wall of smoke outside on the T side, they will habitually walk close behind the smokes. And I feel like with teams like that, I would like to see a team counter-strike them with double HEs behind the smoke grenade. We saw one HE in that prior round, but I'm hoping that eventually we'll see some double HEs there. I mean, it depends on the positions you're playing, of course, and what risks that requires you to take, but I think there's a window where someone does that and it just absolutely obliterates the opponent. I just want to see people get wrecked, man.
It's very satisfying to see the double HEs for sure. There's a main split coming into play. LexCB takes down Rez in the garage, but it's all about the upper bomb side here, in which Get Right will defend very effectively. He will be traded out, and his teammates have fallen as well, so some problems here, but LexCB is looking to make it even worse. It's not just a problem anymore, it's a catastrophe perhaps, as Dennis is left outside, but LexCB has no idea, turns around at the wrong moment, not soon enough, and that will be another round in the hands of NIP.
I wanted to see people get wrecked, and people got wrecked in that round. 9 people got fragged. They had 1 rifle and a bunch of pistols, Ents, and it wasn't really... I didn't know if the rifle got any kills in that round. It was a Caesar to start things off in the garage area, and it just went on from there. So Ents got a lot out of that, a lot more than you'd expect. And look what it's done to the money of Ninjas in Pyjamas. They've had to rebuy so much. They left the previous round with about 30,000 in the bag, and they probably finished it with about 6. So this could allow Ents to catch up now. All the damage they did in that previous round. We'll have to see if it plays out for them. They've got the grenades. They've got the smokes for the outside if that's what they want to do. There aren't that many Molotovs left though. Not that NIP have commonly been dropping one in that position. Dennis waiting. I'm sure he won't get caught with a grenade in his hand again like he did last time. Speaking of which, they remember that he was there as well, and a Molotov goes down. Speaking of going down, LXCB taken out, and Alu will return the favor.
It's really cool as well to see because, you know, the AWP is coming out now, as we see Ali getting a kill with that. And, ooh, retake outside here from NIP. This might be unexpected, but Arrow's going to spot it now. The game's been given up. Dennis will be very careful. Throws the HG around the corner. The support around main as well for Dennis to play off of. Could be a defining factor. And there it is. The double peek comes in. And that's really important just before the push goes into the upper bomb site. So maybe that will help NIP out as the bomb is now down on the ground. As Getroy keeps the pressure up, and it's one after the other for him. And that is going to be another round in the hands of the Ninjas.
Happy time, 6-round lead. As I said, that was a very key round for both these teams to win. That would have broken Ninjas in Pyjamas if Ents had won that, but they weren't able to. And here we are, 1 round away from double figures. 5 rounds in a row for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They are on fire. Let's not forget, Blast Los Angeles is coming up in July. So if you're able, if you're in the area, give it a consideration. Speaking of fire, there's fire towards that ramp position, and there are pistols for Ents. Rez going close, getting taken out at close range, but I think most of the damage has been avoided by Ninjas in Pyjamas. 3 players taken out, make it 4. LXCB still has the bomb, just running straight into the B bomb site, banking on Ninjas in Pyjamas, mostly or entirely being towards A, and he's not wrong. Planting on the coolant. So there's the bonus money. That's worst case scenario ticked off for Ents in this round, and now it's about doing any damage which he can. Don't think he'll be too concerned about his Kevlar. Unlikely to really escape this situation. Sprayed through the smoke, and that will be 4 players surviving for NIP and round number 10.
I actually really thought it was quite smart of LXCB. So you could see there's a moment when he felt like, okay, I'm going to use this smoke that I have to get the safe bomb plant. Then he realized that, hang on, actually, I'm going to gamble that I'm pretty good here to get this plant down regardless. So he saved the smoke to try to allow himself some play afterwards, but obviously didn't work out. Good effort though, and really solid cleanouts from NIP. They've really found their stride here on this CT side, despite a turbulent beginning to the half. They're looking like they're going to finish it off with quite some strength as they hit double digits. And I also think it's cool that they're not using the AWP really all that much in the recent rounds. And here goes a fast play on the outside behind the smoke. They can make the running sound, and the player in garage will hear that. That's Rez. So they know that there's a player in secret most likely. And oh man, over the top of the smoke, will be picked off. Rez, he's done so much damage. A 5 versus 3 now for NIP. Couldn't get better.
Man like Rez in a tractor, just driving over Ents round after round. He's been more than a thorn in their side. Alexi B and Aerial, 2 versus 5. It may be a relief once this first half has ended. There's a trade from Forest. Too many players alive. No chance to really throw that grenade, and that leaves Aerial with 20 HP. Trying to create some space for himself. But again, dropping a smoke. Now, the other CTs, they know exactly where he is, so if they wanted to, they could take very aggressive positions. You can see Get Right moving into that main area. And we've got a long-range angle as well, which Aerial might be looking for, just about spotting, but he can't quite land the frag. And that's 11 rounds for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, they're looking really strong at the moment. Again, just like the first map earlier, we saw them playing against Astralis. It was Dust too. We saw in NIP fighting really hard on that T side, doing a great job. But it's really, you know, it's always a game of two halves. You know, obviously a saying from Footy, but in Counter-Strike, I think it definitely has more relevance in a sense where obviously it's such a different style of play when you switch onto the other team. Either way, Ents back on the AKs. Galil for Ali. Not a huge amount of utility, a lot being tossed outside. Got to keep those outside smokes going. They're looking to perhaps burst towards the upper bomb side here. This is going to be a violent one, James. Or maybe not, because that smoke.
That is a beautifully timed smoke. Ents selling lies outside, but NIP are non-believers in this last round of the first half. The door of opportunity is open. They're moving into the side. Get Right looking for the hut. Nothing doing just yet. Rest being taken out. Maybe Ents will win around now. They're all still stuck around the choke point. Get Right looking for more. Finding the wrong end of the stick though. Dennis and Lekro versus 3. Dennis on the side, trying to fight, getting traded. Beautiful shot onto Sergey. 2 versus 1. All of a sudden, they don't know where Alu is just yet. But he can't be far off, all things considered. The bomb is deep in the A-bomb site. 45 seconds, and he will use this to maybe take the high ground.
Eerie silence here for Alu as he takes time to reposition. Here's some scoping. That's some very valuable information. He knows Dennis is directly below him. And there it is. There's the drop. Beautiful stuff there. The second. It will be Lekro's frag and another round for NIP. 12-3. What a half from them. If you consider how desperate things looked right at the beginning of the half, for them to be so dominant, and a lot of it was due to this man here in this round as well. Amazing AWP play from him has, I think, really bailed out NIP in a lot of these pivotal moments. And that, again, it's so good to see if we consider the history of Dennis on NIP in recent times and just thinking about the struggles that he has had as an individual.
Absolutely. I think the multi-frags from his teammate Rez as well were very, very important. He brutalized Ents in that first half. Ents coming off a win, Ninjas in Pyjamas coming off a loss. Maybe all will be balanced by the end of this one, but Ents could entirely have the same kind of half. Now the sides are about to flip over, but we can see some of the replays here. That was an important hold for Get Right as well, taking out some of the players, thinning the herd, so to speak. But again, Dennis with the hero AWP, the support from Lekro as well, baiting and decontamination, pulling the players into view. The team effort was fantastic. And here's one of those multi-frag situations from Rez, which were also so key. But indeed, Dennis with this AWP is everywhere. Really nice stuff from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, really well played for sure, and it was really cool to see how dynamic some of them were. You know, as you mentioned, Rez, we see him in all kinds of positions. Get Right, for the honorable mention too, for me actually, playing around the hot position was very consistent in making sure that Ents, you know, when they go to those fast upper plays, don't get as much success because they can't find the value in when they push through with numbers, getting those quick trades, because Get Right was outplaying them in a lot of these spots. So overall, great showing from NIP, but it is not over just yet. A 12-3 first half, but Ents moving on to the CT side now might mean a very different story. We'll have to see, as we can see that we'll be going back into this after a 1 minute of a break, of a pause.
It would really help if Ents won the pistol.
Yeah.
3-12 is rough because you're at the mercy of the variance of the pistols to a degree. I mean, yeah, there's more economy now, but if you lose that, are you forced into a force buy? Does that mean that you never have a good economy on whatever kind of half you end up having? So many questions for them to answer should they win or lose the pistol round. I think almost everyone, when I was doing that, when we were doing the Twitch Rivals stream in California recently, almost everybody had the Ents music as their MVP music, which was really interesting. So they've kind of taken things by storm in that respect. But can they continue to deliver on the server? Again, their first game was very, very strong on Mirage, a great scoreline for them, but this one isn't so great.
Absolutely. Lots to be delivered here for Ents, but resilience is definitely a word that I would use to describe them. And they are no strangers to the grind, James. They've done it. They've grinded out with the best of them. And this is going to be quite the grind here, starting out from 3-12. And as you say, it's all about picking up the pistol, make things as easy as possible. And on the CT side, it can be difficult at times. If you don't get those first couple headshots whilst the T's are trying to close the distance, it can all snowball out of control quite quickly. But we'll see them going for a single smoke. No kit, actually, but the kit, but rather, I should say, the CZ smoke from Alexi B. Everybody else with Kevlar. They are ready to fight. And here we go. Get right moving forwards, wrapping around the main position. And that's a good start there for NIP. Long range, Ali will take the fight, but he can't find the damage that he needs. And we'll see now whether or not Get Right can activate himself in this heaven position. Starts to push forwards. Oh, Ali drops off the side there. And X7 all of a sudden coming alive here, swinging things back into the favor of Ents, but the bomb is down. So NIP looking good. Rez opens it up here towards the vents, and he holds them at bay once again.
Look how he's jiggling left and right, making it really hard for them to hit the headshots. I think he senses the double peek coming in. Move back to no avail. X7 with 2 headshots, and Lecro is quickly dealt with as well. Ents win the must-win pistol.
X7 has just decided, yep, this is, you know what, I'm going to win the round for you guys now. Let's just get these 4 kills, get his defuse in the bag. Good start from Ents, absolutely needed performance. X7 stepping up when someone was needed to on the team. And I mean, we have to mention though that the plant did go down for NIP. So there is a real threat in this next round that we're going to get an explosive force buy. Indeed, the force buy is coming, and they're going to spend everything though. Looks like, I mean, they have to. They're going to get 2 AKs dropped. They could go for a fast upper play, or they could try to abuse the strength of those AKs at range on the outside positions. We'll have to find out as the round begins.
Calculated risk from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They are speculators. Dennis, Forrest, and Rez. 2 AKs and a Galil. Now, I don't think any of these riflers have fired any bullets just yet. So, as far as Ents know, it's an eco with the odd deagle. Now, we have a gap in the smoke that we didn't really see in the first half. It was very rare when NIP tried to cause a problem in those smokes. And now Dennis creeps with the AK again. They haven't fired a bullet yet. This is the wrong kind of surprise. It's not a birthday surprise. This is, well, it could be very, very nasty, but it could just be a round of great upgrades for Ents with a UMP and a French gun in play, as well as the MP9 on LXC. Forrest eating the flashbang, but still now they know, hold on, there's an AK, but is it just the one? LXC still just a quick crouch peek. He's using the roof, so he just bounces very, very quickly. Something RPK used to do in Source on maps like Cache. Lexi's being taken out. 2 players lost now for Ents, and the problems start to get worse because surely there's a trade. No trade. Eventually there will be, but is that enough damage done by Aerial? It's a 2 versus 3, made 2-on-2 now with Sergey trying to hold down the A bomb site. He spots one towards Squeaky, but doesn't see the players to his left. He's heard him, and he's still going to get almost all the frags, but Get Right will eventually trade. He's got 17 seconds in a 1 versus 1. He doesn't know where X7 is, but he might have position to plant the bomb.
He does, but X7 will creep forwards. X7 has a perfect timing. Get Right doesn't spot him. He needs to go for a deeper peek on one of the sides of these silos here. This will be very difficult, and X7, again, he had a perfect timing. I don't think there was really that much Get Right could do about it, but that was a devastating round for NIP. Despite, Ents, I should say, despite winning it, they've lost 4 players, and the bomb goes down again. You better believe that NIP are going for another force buy here. They'll never let Ents breathe. As if they can keep the pressure up, they're going to keep it going. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Oh, that was Great stuff from Dennis so far, really impressed.
Beautiful. That bomb plant so important for Ninjas in Pyjamas. And indeed, we have the AK on Dennis. I don't know if it's a full investment, though. I think he may be the hero once again. So, because of how open, like, let's say the outside is, Dennis is a hero AK, but these Deagles could entirely get a frag as well. So, it's not necessarily a default, let's watch Dennis play. But he is the point man outside. The HE coming his way will be avoided for the most part. 20 damage I think he will take versus what else it could do. So indeed, it is Seek and Destroy for Dennis. Almost its own game mode. Got to be careful in how he chooses to peek. Gonna get a support grenade out there for the cross. No molly this time from Ents. Flashbang just to deter them somewhat. Aerial being careful in main, maybe hearing the footsteps of Lekro up top. And indeed, there is a slow creep. Alexi holding a pixel angle, spots some players. Or does he? Is he waiting for the closer angle? He is. There we go. Oh my God, what was that? He got absolutely deleted.
That is a pre-fire and a half from Dennis. Incredible. And now the lower bomb side is up for grabs here for NIP. And this is getting very scary. Dennis back in with a spray there, trying to do what he can with the AK, but there is a player closing the distance. XM will take down Forest. Dennis with the AK stays alive for a moment longer as it goes 3 against 4 in this afterplant. Gerite goes close now to close the distance. I don't think there's a flashbang for him to play with. He just has to play with the close ranges, and time is of the essence here. Only Ali with the kit. Dennis taking the head off another player. Gerite picks up more, but oh my God, Dennis, he doesn't stop. He set Gerite up, and now it's down to Gerite to finish it off. The bomb, though, I think that's too far ticked. Arrow has to back away. Oh my goodness, James, they've done it. Dennis, they gave him the AK. He was the guy with all the responsibility, and he came through for NIP.
I need to see that peak. Show me the peak. I have to see that. Oh, there was enough gap for him. That should have been a pedestrian situation for Ents, and it was absolute devastation. They found a back door and just took out all of Sparta. Jesus. Absolute devastation. And look what it's left Ents with. They were supposed to be on the comeback trail. They were supposed to have a dominant CT side. Now they're left with one rifle and some pots and pans and the odd grenade. Aerial now in Rez's shoes, as he was there in the first half, causing absolute mayhem to silence them for not quite hitting the mark there on Dennis, and he gets exploded. Closed casket funeral. Not much left of Aerial.
That's what you wanted, James. You wanted the HEs and the smokes. I don't think you expected it to be the CTs that would die, but there you go. Beggars can't be choosers. Oh, hello. Nice response. Lexi B finding a kill onto Dennis. Pretty good. I mean, Dennis has been on fire in this game, so definitely a high-value target to eliminate early into the round, but you've only got a couple of Deagles and SMGs to finish off the rest of NIP. They've got a minute left. They've only got position outside at this point. They'll start to take more control of the outside positions. I like this. Looks like they might go for the heaven play with their rifles, which could be very strong. 40 seconds to get that bomb down. Time is definitely beginning to be an issue.
There we go. Alu will not have any more success, really. Both getting punished by Forest. And this is a rough spot now for Ents. Is there anything for them to salvage in terms of weapons on the floor at the very least in this round? 3 versus 4 with no defuse kit and 2 Deagles. I don't think they will be going for this. We've got Sergey creeping, looking for something maybe. He's taken an alternative route around the main position. The rest of his team hiding in CT spawn. So, there was a frag earlier, and he will try to pick up this AK-47. Now, in some situations, you may have a player try to protect this weapon, and I think he's looking for that. Someone expectant of a CT trying to salvage this. I think he needs to grab it before the bomb explodes, because the bomb could send it flying over the fence, for example. Oh dear, that might be his chance. Gone, he better speed things up. It's about to fly away.
Oh, he got it just in time. Wow, nice. That's great HE work from both sides. Really cool to see level of detail there. Forest kill onto Ali, not quite as clean as Dennis's version, but still does the job. And 14-5 the score, as Dennis is on 18. He's 18 for 8. Get right, 18 for 9. Some really good individual performances here from NIP. They're so confident. Ents with it all to do. Sergey, he's saved at AK-47 at the very least. We'll have to see what part that has to play now in this round, as the rest of his teammates are being conservative with their money. Good utility usage here for NIP to clear out the positions that may be dangerous. And they've had so much success going down through Secret that it looks like that will continue perhaps here.
Rudimentary pop flash from Rez. Ents, they've got Sergey on the AK and Lexi B on the MP9. But they're pretty static at the moment. They're waiting for the action to come to them. There is Aerial taken out. Now, is Sergey going to respond to this? Because I feel like he has to. He's in the heaven position, and he's engaging someone. Rez has been taken out. Forrest is there as well. And he probably knows that Dennis is on the low ground. And that's going to activate Alexi B. He'll make a difference in the meantime. Showing presence on A, moving towards B. Smart stuff, because they know that there is an AK in heaven for Ents. So maybe NIP would go towards the B bomb site anyway.
Yeah, really making things a little bit complicated. Alexi B with that kill through the door position. 25 seconds for a plant. Heaven under control. Split of main and uppers ready, but maybe not. Electro going in, and Sergey takes him down. No trade kill. Bomb thrown down. Dennis has to plant it. Forrest will maintain the high ground, and Forrest will now drop down to cover him. Spots one through the hut position, but there's 2 more players to worry about. If Ents pick good timing, they should be fine. Forrest knows that, forces the issue. Dennis with the spray, and that's going to be that. Ents, you thought maybe they had a chance in that 3v2, but Dennis said no.
The trigger discipline from Forrest there was outstanding. He doesn't want to tag through the wall. He wants a decisive, clean frag, and he waited, and then he took it. Beautiful stuff. 10-round lead and 10 match points for Ninjas in Pyjamas. We do, however, have a good buy for Ents. Sans AWP, there's no AWP, there's no sniper rifle, but there are plenty of scopes in 3 AUGs and 2 M4s of 2 differing kinds. Then it's up top, flashed early. We've got a player in Secret really fast in Aerial. Ooh.
5 damage.
All of 5 damage from that. But NIP, they know their angles. They are meticulous. They know their grenades, as we saw around T-Red. And they'll start their wall of terror. There's no Molotov on Ence's side to stop it. And now there's a 2-man defense around Secret. But it doesn't seem like anyone is going there. Maybe a lurker in Dennis, and the Molotov is going to be a problem. But they still have the information with Aerial, so they know no one's pushing just yet. Now they don't, because of the flashbang, they don't have the information, so they could get pulled towards the B bomb site, but maybe NIP go to A.
Looking to speed things up, get right, pressing through the door position. Dennis trying to cover the flank, and he will stop them going up Secret. And things slow down somewhat. And Dennis making the play back up the stairs. Somehow X7 doesn't catch him. They knew he was in around that position. And yet the investigation has backfired. 5 versus 3. NIP setting things up to close this one down in dominant fashion.
30 seconds on the clock. Will Ents have time on their side? Doesn't look like it, as the bomb site has been taken. Ali won't find an angle, and he's going to get absolutely ripped to pieces by Dennis. He's been on fire the whole game, and now it's Alexi B versus 5. He needs an ace just to survive for 1 more round. Not looking very likely. Dennis says no. Really happy with that performance, and that is an ace from Dennis. Beautiful way to finish off the map on Nuke for Ninjas in Pyjamas.